Welcome back. We're here at Mundaring in Western Australia, which for those of you watching us from abroad is in the west of Australia. We're here for the RPM Discs WA Open 2023, supported by Disc Golf Warehouse and Disc Connection. I am very happy to be here today. I'm Ashley Weedner. I am with Kyle Herbertson, and we're very lucky to be joined by Jacob Davies, who's going to talk us through a bit of his round. How are you going?
Yeah, going well. It's good to be talking through the round, as I said, in the front nine. Course is looking fantastic.
Just one of those fantastic holes is hole 10 as we get straight into it. 180 metres shooting out the initial gap and up this hill. Right-handers not wanting something to fade out left into the OB and wanting to land somewhere about here to have a look straight down this tunnel from the white tee pad to a basket about 65 metres and finishing towards the left next to this big tree. Plenty of grass trees to contend with, plenty of slopes. Big thing being this initial drive, getting it right enough.
Absolutely smoked that D2 there. I was very happy to get up the hill high enough to have a little bit of a look down the tunnel there. OB right and left certainly makes it play hard.
Yeah, as Chris finds that OB left, just not getting that turn. Playing uphill, it is a very easy mistake to make.
Right. I think the camera doesn't quite show how uphill it is off the tee. You can see it from looking back down again. Everything wants to drag left.
Dan making no mistake. Not unfamiliar with flippy stuff, so finesses it nicely.
Now there is a little backdoor forehand line that some lunatics decide to go with sometimes, but that potentially Chris and Corey might have. But Chris is going to decide to go through a bit of a nothing gap. It's extremely tight trees on that side.
Oh, he has not.
He got through quite a way, but I think he'll still be a little away from the basket. Avoided a lot of the big trouble though.
So there's a large collection of grass trees.
I would have pewered that big tree right in the front.
Yeah, not quite the turn he was after.
Jacob, I thought, what? That'd be just about ideal for drive-wise for you.
Yeah, absolutely stoked to have that. A little bit longer and you have a kind of a hyzer in, but a little bit tough having the tunnel, but again, squared it up, so it was nice to be able to just aim at the big tree, let it kick left.
Yeah, Chris with a long look at birdie there. Happy to take the bogey after the OB stroke. Stop the bleeding a little bit. Dan with a look as well.
It's another good one.
The birdies don't come much easier than that.
Bloody stoked again to get those strokes back after hole 8's mishaps.
Yeah, I think if I was to get the caddy book, print it out, laminate it, and get a whiteboard marker and draw ideally how I'd want to play this hole, it would pretty much be what you've just done there, Jacob.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was being in that premium spot and managed to actually throw a shot straight on the second one was nice. So hole 11, par 4, 185 metres. Probably plays a little bit longer than that if you play it as the OB is. We kind of build an OB triangle on the right-hand side there. It'll be a little bit hard to see with the flags, but essentially you want to put something out there. There's the white tee pad there. It's about 80 metres into the basket. Put something around there and then play a straight shot. Opens up for a forehand second shot as well. But the trees on the left, everyone pretty much was ending up in there. It's a little bit uphill, a little bit of a right to left at some point. So you kind of just want to put it somewhere to actually have a look into the basket.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the mistake is to not give yourself an open look to that second shot. And while it's not too long of a shot, it definitely makes it difficult with some instructions. As you push a long way.
Yeah, try to get a little bit too aggressive with a stable D1. Sent it over on the left side there. You're going to have to scramble for sure. Dan going perhaps the more intelligent play, going straight mid-range, just trying to put it in the spot and have a look into the basket.
Yeah, just trusting the angle of that second shot and not trying to bite off too much.
Throws that to the
Chris here with his star strike. Just drags it over a bit and finds those early trees. Such a tough scramble from these initial trees. With the OB cutting in, you really can't bite off a huge amount with a second scramble shot. You've still got that 80-metre approach regardless.
tough to save par from there for sure.
Chris gives it plenty from that standstill.
Very aggressive. That would have been in the realm of 400 feet for sure.
Wow. I don't think I can throw a roller that far.
Corey, unfortunately, sending it into that OB area.
Yeah, made it out of all of the trees, but still finding just in that OB. So that right to left just holds Dan's on
That one
Heiser.
look in. Actually managed to push into 12's fairway there and have a little bit of a clean look. Tried to smoke something through, but didn't get through those initial trees.
You could be forgiven today, Jacob, for thinking after watching Chris Finn play through the trees that they're moving out of the way of
think
frisbees,
so.
the way he's been getting through gaps.
Of course, I decided to smoke this onto the sand green. The one danger from there.
Good approach from
Play
Chris.
a real game.
Making good on the difficult challenge to make par.
Very, very well. Bid.
As we see a great shot of Dan's limited edition Adidas jersey. I've looked it up online now. They're out of stock. They were a collaboration with a local Sydney artist, or an artist local
That's
to
very
Sydney.
cool.
So, yeah.
Well dressed throughout the weekend.
I'll have to look up his Instagram and see what other outfits he.
A couple of those
he got out.
Tasmania shirts looking great. Yeah, unfortunately, take the double bogey there, but again, not the end of the world with the OB and that sort of stuff in play. Was sort of playing around middle of the pack.
As I understand it thus far, Jacob, you've only taken birdies and double bogeys.
It certainly felt like that. It certainly felt like that.
Moving into hole 12, the hardest hole in the course, we're going to see if Jacob can break that trend. 255 metres. And just because it's long doesn't mean there's no trees, as we have this initial tunnel that is quite challenging to get through. Wanting to get up to this golf tee here and crest the hill, and then head straight back down the hill to the right of the golf green where you'll find the basket. We've got Amanda on the right as you see us fly past, and then there is OB behind the green and also shaping along the back of the basket at about 13 metres.
Absolutely cracking hard hole.
That is insane. The only way this hole would be more difficult is if you had, like in Star Wars, those Tusken Raiders sitting out the side of it shooting you as you walk down the fairway.
It feels like that sometimes.
Beautiful. Beautiful tee shot from Dan, and Chris follows up.
It's really not that small of a gap to get through there. As you can see, these guys make it look so easy, but just knowing that you need to be in a good spot off the tee to actually be able to even get par, it's so much pressure on it. I decided to show the fun way to play the hole.
Bit more scenic. Corey also finds the gap.
Yeah.
This is I mean, Jacob, letting the team
Yeah,
down.
they
on
just made me
excursion
feel
here.
great by doing this. I tell you what, they're all in like prime landing zone. Trying to flex the forehand, get somewhere down there in the spot.
Done about as well as you could from there, I think, but giving yourself something.
Oh, and the tree has saved Chris from the man.
Very,
there.
very easy to drag it right there. I don't know what it is about this hill. It shouldn't be. That Mando really shouldn't come into play. It's just wide open fairway, but trying to play the turnover comes out a little bit early.
Dan, the turnover specialist, takes out his DD3 first round edition, and that is absolutely sent all the way over the green. Out of bounds, long on a 255.
So there's a white tee pad about level with the landing zone. That's 145 meters in the basket.
Wow.
He's got that. Absolutely all of that. Chris, a nice forehand approach.
He's done well from there. This was just like, we saw it rolling away. It was like, oh, it might go there, it might go there. It's like, turn right around, roll back uphill.
Wowee.
Go in.
Good look from there for Corey.
Got those up shots looking good. Just trying to put it close from there. Take my bogey and walk away.
Dan from his OB line does everything he can.
It would have been an incredible par save from OB, but not to
Not
be.
the end of the world to take a bogey on this one. Par feels amazing. There's definitely some debate locally about whether this should be a par 5 or a par 4. I'm sure it would change how hard it plays. Alrighty, moving on to hole 13. It's nice to get a little bit of relief after the 3 par 4s in a row. It's uphill 98 meters. Probably plays at about 105, just hitting that initial gap, which doesn't really come into play. It's right off the tee. And just poke just right of that tree into the basket. It's pretty safe up on the left side. Have an open putt. Short right is jail.
Chris, highs are flipping.
That was a titty too, he said.
Pumps it straight past the
Just
basket.
making a memorabilia.
Yeah, one of the
That is a super flipping TD.
fevers. Incredible shot.
Beautiful foliage in the foreground here too.
Yeah, the course is looking so green at the moment. I'm so glad to be able to get it on camera this time of the year. It is dry and dusty most of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
Position shot there from Corey. Probably wanted a bit more out of it.
Being safe. I'm on my M4 again here, just trying to throw in a little bit of highs and get some flip up.
That's a beautiful looking shot. Just finding that
Yeah, I
last
just
tree.
turned a little bit extra late than I was expecting. It's going to be a tough little spot behind that big tree.
I feel like that's quite a popular tree on this hole.
Right. It kind of
A lot of
opens up like a
visitors.
closet in there. I have ended up inside that.
Stay up. Yes. Great shot.
Beautiful shot there from Dan.
Touch.
Oh, it'll be a bit.
Was that a putter he was throwing there?
I think that's his Iron Samurai
that's
1 or 2. Yeah. The metal flake glow one.
Got a little bit of a look there.
Cashes that
that's
birdie
good one,
nicely.
yeah. Good recovery.
Chris also putting that in for
What a
birdie.
drive. Clean up there from Corey.
Yeah, I feel like it shapes beautifully for that hyzer flip and
Yeah,
pushing
sure
shot.
does. Knowing You can put it on a bit of extra hyzer, and if you're on the left, it's just fine. Good one to get.
Oz Discs, powering Team Hyzer Flight. Check them out at ozdiscs.com.au.
Hole 14 now, back to the Mundaring trend of par 4s, sitting at 235 metres, shooting out of the initial gap into wide open fairway, really get to let loose a bit, get over that hump, down into this collection zone, and then have about a 100 metre shot into the basket, over the sand green with OB waiting behind the basket, sitting at about 14 metres, and then moving into about 11 metres directly behind the basket. Quite a treacherous approach, so a lot of these guys will be wanting to bite off as much as possible to make this approach just a little bit
that
easier.
OB running down the left side and the thick trees on the right certainly shouldn't get in your head as much as it does with the wide open fairway there, but you just want to put it in the spot and have a look down there. There is a berm, like a ridge that kind of runs down the middle, and if you're on that, the footing is shocking to be able to get a rip into the basket.
Dan does nicely.
Slide showing wide open look in.
Corey puts a good move on that. Needs to get a little bit left. Does so nicely.
Great drive.
So easy to just overturn it slightly down this hill.
Tell you what, I was keen to rip on one after those last couple of holes. I'd say
D2
D1
again?
actually, beat up 400 D1.
D1.
Possibly the flippiest D1 I've seen.
Pretty good spot.
Pretty happy with that one, I'd say. Chris does find the sand green there.
It's definitely a challenge with this second shot. The sand green's slightly higher than the basket, so there's a bit of a false front. It's a little bit longer than you think.
It will. He loves it.
Oh, Corey makes no mistake. That is parked. Beautiful shot. Shaping it around the green. Dan's MD5 coming up quite a bit short there, finding the sand green as well.
Would have been a good 115 out from the basket there.
So those golf greens are just flat out sand.
Yeah, they're kind of just like compacted sand. Definitely
right.
a course made for disc golf rather than ball golf, perhaps. It's gone a little bit long. It's about a metre from out of bounds. Catch cam, unfortunately, had his hands full. Once again, asking him for something.
Yeah, it is a tough job because you can usually see if it's in or out as catch cam, but often very difficult to put the camera down and signal.
Right. He's having to run down the next hole anyway. Had no time.
There.
To get nature circle. Felt good to recover it.
One of the 5 MPO birdies on this hole for the day. Did very well.
Apart from Dan.
Good three, Corey. Thank you.
And Corey tapping in for his birdie. Again, if I had a whiteboard and some laminate and a whiteboard marker, that's how I'd play this hole, if I could. With a marker, not with a frisbee. Couldn't do it with a frisbee.
So much easier. Alrighty, hole 15. So another 120 meter par 3. Nice and long one. Just trying to play a big wide hyzer into the basket here. There's OB running down the right side and long of the green. It's definitely plays quite long, but with the little bit of a tailwind we were playing with, a little bit of right to left, usually you can trust something somewhat stable out on the right side just to play in there. The early left is inbounds, but it is extremely thick.
Yeah, very scrambly territory from in there as Corey pulls up just short of that. Should have some sort of circle 2 look. I bet any money that this is a Falcor from
Indeed,
you.
400 Falcor. Nice and
This
stable.
is Proto?
Yes, indeed.
Just short, finding its way to the edge of circle.
Yeah, nice to have a look on this one at least. A bit closer.
Chris just not finding as much flip in that tailwind and finding those tall skinny trees on the left.
The wind was a bit swirly at this point of the round. It made this a bit tough. Dan, however, making it look easy.
Smash that
What a shot.
He has absolutely moosed it once again.
Big shot.
Moosed.
Got a tight look here.
Just a little disappointed with himself there.
Yeah, he was upset to be short on this one.
Sad.
Corey also a bit shy.
Is he?
This basket gets in my head a little bit, but
A
it's
lot
a
more
little bit
outgoing with that
lower
putt.
than normal, so it's kind of like the chains are a little bit higher. It's a weird thing that gets in my head.
Yeah,
Right.
Dan making no mistake. Taking a solo birdie after some interesting
Very
drives.
good one.
As we move into hole 16, synonymous with Mundaring Golf, 375 metre par 5, out the initial gap, into this golf fairway and following it all the way down. Rollers, air shots, everything's on the table for this first shot, getting to about here, maybe a little bit back, and then bombing something up to the top of the hill for your approach. Anything beyond that only makes the approach easier into the extremely downhill final segment of the hole with the OB sand green on the left and many trees to contend with on the right. A lot of different ways to play this hole, many of which we'll see hopefully from our card. But yeah, a birdie is well earned here.
Roller is certainly a popular play on this one. And playing very wide left off the tee, not playing across the tee pad. Trusting the understability of that one.
Yeah, and that's huge. Stay up. Stay up.
Still up and creeps up the hill and onto that right hand side of the fairways. You just need to see it through the trees.
Smoked that one nicely.
Really looks to be playing a bit safer and just trying to play for position here. Does so
You
nicely.
get a lot of distance with the forehand there, pushing it out into those trees and just finishing in. Doesn't really matter as long as you get at least 110 off the tee. Yeah, I'm going for a big turnover with that D2 again. Fortunately, not quite enough turn on it.
Some footing there, hopefully it's
Finney going that shrike.
Beautiful
Smoked
shot.
it.
beautiful shot.
That's
Disky smoked in the distance competition with, I think he was pushing for the 150s, and this would have been probably even further.
Incredible rips there. definitely what you need for this hole. After playing it, had a new appreciation for exactly how far 375 is.
No, I was fortunate to have a little bit of footing here. My guys a flip out there as far as I could.
Did well. Have a nice look towards the basket there.
Penny in a fantastic spot.
Ooh.
Going roller with his X-Cal. Just curling up a little bit onto that right-hand side. As we see, is that the white tee pad?
It's about 80 metres from
over there in the
white tee
background.
pad.
Not a bad spot to be.
And another huge roll.
Dan going another roller.
Oh, 17's tee pad curling right around. That is so far down there.
Huge from Dan.
Maybe 35 metres into the bucket, maybe 40 at most.
Corey with a bit more left on it.
Be sure.
He'll find his way over further onto that left-hand side.
As long as you're not on the green, it's fine. I've got my Proto PA1 here. Just every putter.
Go in the hole. Come on.
Beautiful nestled up there.
Stop it.
Stoked with that one. From the tee shot, I was absolutely stoked.
Just beautiful flip to flat.
Holding its line just long enough.
And just nestles its way under that basket.
It's like the pilot sitting in the front of the disc is just going, there's the basket. Bank left. Wow.
Roll.
A little bit short.
Just sawing that one off a little.
Very easy to do. Scared of that sand green.
Lovely approach there from Frosty.
Yeah. Just doing frosty
Made
things,
the hole
really,
look
isn't
so
it?
easy. The roll was dissected very quickly.
Just didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah, I had to go back in the edit and make sure I hadn't missed one of his shots.
So far down there.
But no. Got down there for 3 and taps in his birdie. Very well done. Just taking a par. No damage done. It's always a good thing. Jake also making it look easy. That approach doing some heavy lifting. 2 under for the card on that hole is very good going.
Alright, 17, one of the signature holes on the course. Fairly downhill on this one, 120 metres, probably plays closer to 100, maybe 105. Got OB stretching short of the creek here, about 15 metres, and then just on the long side of the creek there. It's pretty tight woods on the left and long left of the basket as well. You just want to put it close and have a look.
Yeah, there's a lot of very easy to find misses on this hole. Skipping over the basket side of the creek into the trees, being quite popular.
Having that downhill putt with the OB behind.
They're not about an easy to find misses. Yeah, they're not about an easy to find misses, Kyle, but definitely I'm excited about this hole because I've finally seen one I think I could play on this course, so this is good.
FX2 here. Going in. Oh, very lucky.
That skipped miles.
It was in absolute jail.
Oh, Jesus.
Corey taking an interesting line.
There is a bit of room on the right now that tree is gone. You can see the stump hole, but
Just
not
what
quite
I
that
plan to
much.
do, yeah.
Ace.
Lay it up.
So Finney doing the Babe Ruth, was he, and calling his shot?
Yeah. Give it a good run down the hill. It's looking good, possibly a bit wide. Finds its way up to just past the circle there, 13 metres or so.
Is that what he said he was going to do?
Corey, unfortunately, sending it straight into the OB there. He's only going to advance a few metres.
Just slipping out of the hand slightly early. Makes good of the second approach.
Scary putting here for Chris.
Pulling up just short of that OB.
Jeez, the OB is about 4 metres behind the basket there. Very scary.
Yeah, definitely makes it a very difficult tee shot, not wanting to leave yourself those long comebackers back towards the OB.
I could not actually see the basket from where I am there. I had to try and play something wide, but not quite enough swing to it. Confident putt comes in there.
They're cleaning up. As does the rest of our card.
Birdies on this one. Certainly playing harder than I expected it to, but exposed to the wind adds a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And one of those holes also exposed to the wind a bit is hole 18, the famous finishing hole from Aussie Open 2017. 95 metres to an island green. There is a layup area for you to cut off about 40 metres of distance and then have another 40-metre approach. Or you can bomb straight over that sand green and skip towards the basket into what is quite a tight island.
You've got about 8 metres long left and right, and then about 11 metres short of the basket.
Great shot.
Dan showing us how it's done, sticking the island.
Another 400 foul pull out of me here.
Curls up beautifully.
Stoked for that one.
Jeez, good showing from our card here. Chris just had to go inside, show Dan what he's missing.
Yeah, I'm going to make you putt first, Frosty.
Bit of confusion on where the OB line was for this one, because we were playing the 2 layouts, but managed to get it reasonable line. Close.
Good finish there from Dan, cleaning up 3 of the last 4 to bring his round back under par. Also going with the alternating birdies through those last 6 holes. Getting yourself down to 3 under, just missing out on lead card for day 2. But still very handy.
Mr. Finn taking himself to 1 under for the day.
Leading MP40.
Absolutely, yeah. Couple shots there for Chris as we take a look at the overall scores. Jacob finishing 3 down, Dan close behind at 2, and then Chris and Corey at MP40 finishing first with 1 under and third with a +5. As we take a look at our overall leaderboard.
Austin D'Alessandro coming in 7 down for the day, followed by Connor Donnelly. What else are we looking at there? Jacob Davies sitting in 5th with 3 down. Local boy Blake Houston 5 down with Damon Williams. And Frosty from our card as well at 2 down, sitting in 6th. Any surprises, thoughts there,
Definitely
Jacob?
huge to see those hot scores. We were expecting sort of a winning score for the weekend to be averaging about 5 down per round. So it is cool to see them smoking that. I think the 7 down was about 1020 rated, and I'd say that's pretty accurate. Par was about 965, so certainly playing tough.
Absolutely, yeah. Mundaring showing the best to these players and really testing out all of the skills as we saw through the good mix of holes. Lots of par 4s to test out the placement and distance, and 2 more days to really thoroughly shake out that competition and see who takes it down. Jacob will be back. And I've been Kyle Herbertson. This has been Ashley Wiedner. We'll be back at you with round 2. In the meantime, park it.
Park it.